Okay, so I probably should start the show off proper. What is up, everybody? My name is Anthony. This is VR365. What is going on? It is Sunday. It is February 16th, and right now it is 11:35 a.m. And you know, we do have a handful of different VR gaming news stories to get into. And one other thing I did want to mention on the subject of interviews. I want to do a lot of interviews. Like I really want to lean in to the interview idea. And I plan on leaning into the interview idea. And one of the things that I'm doing in the background right now, folks, as we speak, is I'm working on a bucket list of what I feel are the absolute most important VR interviews. And I'm basically going to try to chase down all of these people. And if they say no, then they say no, but maybe they'll change their mind at some point in the future. Let's go after these bucket list interviews. And I can tell you one bucket list interview I am trying to go after right now, guys, is one of the developers of Westworld Awakening. Yes, I think that would be an awesome interview. Think about that. One of the developers from Westworld Awakening. I've reached out to Servios to hopefully maybe see if I can get one of the developers that did work on that game and talk to them. Because the thing that I've decided to do with these interview things, I can't always have a YouTuber guy on. I can't always have a VR gamer person on, because then we're covering the same stuff over and over and over again. We're beating dead horses. We're talking about glare in the Valve Index. We're talking about the IPD of the Rift S, or whatever it is. It's the same stories. Like, you rehash them over and over again. Now, I'm still going to do plenty of those interviews, and we're still going to rehash plenty of that stuff, but you got to break it up. And I'm thinking I can break it up with developer interviews and maybe some weird stuff, maybe going off the chains a little bit, maybe doing some weird experimental type stuff. Like, for example, in chat right now, Greg's VR says, be the VR Joe Rogan. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome, right? Try to emulate Joe Rogan. Try to be the VR version of Joe Rogan. Hey, check this out. Here's an interesting factoid about me and Joe Rogan. Do you know Joe Rogan is Italian and Irish? His primary nationalities, I believe, is Italian and Irish. Well, that's me. I'm Italian and Irish. The only difference is his dad, I believe, was Irish. His mom was Italian. For me, it was vice versa. My dad was Italian. My mom was Irish. But just an interesting little factoid. So when you combine Irish and Italian people, they are interview extraordinaires. But yeah, iPad Carry MG says Sebastian and Hugo Swart from Qualcomm. We've had Sebastian on the show a number of times. I definitely need to bring him back on. I absolutely need to bring Sebastian back on. Hugo Swart, absolutely. Honestly, I'd like to talk to anybody that is that worked on the Qualcomm reference design. And what I'd really like to talk to is the main guy that is behind the idea of analyzing your walls and your staircases and turning them into vanishing realms. Like, I want to talk to that dude, because I think that is some real game changer technology right now. But let's get into the first topic of the day. We're working on these bucket list interviews. That's in the background. We will try to do as many bucket list interview shows as possible. Mike was on my bucket list. Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis, no question about it. He was on the bucket list, and I scratched it off. Now, I'm going to try to bring a lot of these people back on. They're good. Like, I'm not going to do them one time. Zimtalk should definitely be back on the show, right? Okay, so the first story of the day, of course, Half-Life Alyx. We got the date. It finally happened. So now we know that Half-Life Alyx is arriving on March 23rd. March 23rd, it has been made official. And that basically means that we have 37 days. 37 days starting right now. 37 days, ladies and gentlemen, until this bomb drops. this bomb that, of course, is Half-Life Alyx, and it's dropping on a Monday. Like, who drops a game on a Monday? But the Monday situation, kind of interesting, right? Because if you look at the date, well, that's the first Monday after GDC. So you got to imagine the vast majority of the video game industry and the vast majority of video game journalists, including yours truly, not really a journalist wannabe, right? A journalist poser extraordinaire. I will be posing at GDC, hopefully if the coronavirus doesn't ruin everything like it's apt to do. But assuming everything goes down, it's all going to be good. I will be at GDC. And that Monday after GDC is over with, that, of course, is when the game is going to drop. It's going to drop on Monday. Now, there's also rumors that are swirling for those of you that might be attending PAX East. Have you guys heard this rumor? Yes, Half-Life Alyx, apparently Valve themselves are supposedly going to be at PAX East. And if you're there, if you're an attendee of PAX East, you too might be able to wait in like a 25-hour line. I mean, a 25-hour line. Yeah, it's going to be closed. So you're going to have to get there like several days early and get in line for Half-Life Alyx. If it really is there, if Half-Life Alyx is really at PAX East and not the coronavirus, again, dude, PAX East might get shut down. Like, the chances of PAX East happening for sure, very, very shaky, very shaky. Like, right now I haven't heard about any cancellation, but it is still possible. Hopefully it will happen like normal and everything's fine. The cruise ship is not right outside Boston, Massachusetts, so hopefully that'll work out. But yeah, you might be able to try Half-Life Alyx early at PAX East. That would be incredible. I'm still hoping it might be at GDC, although the lines would probably be too ridiculous there as well, so probably not even worth tripping on it. But in additional news, besides the fact that we know about March 23rd is the release date, we finally know when this thing is coming out, we also got some screenshots, some brand new screenshots were released by Valve, and this is one of them right there. You can see kind of the outside, different time of day. We got a lot of very detailed lighting effects. Now, that is one of my favorite screenshots right there. That's a brand new one. But yeah, there's a lot of shadows. There's a lot of lighting things that are going on, and I'm a little bit worried about some of these screenshots. They look gorgeous. They look beautiful. They're perfect for Game Informer magazine, right? Perfect for the cover of Game Informer magazine. Or do people still read magazines? I used to be into magazines back in the day. I used to have a gang of subscriptions to magazines, and like the only one that still exists is Game Informer. And these screenshots, okay, now, so a lot of these ones right here, these ones, I believe, Tyler McVicker, these are like these supposedly leaked screenshots that came out a while back. So we're taking a look at some of those screenshots as well. But yeah, we did get some brand new screenshots. And in terms of Half-Life Alyx, obviously my faith is in Gaben and company. Okay, that screenshot is kind of interesting. You're seeing this like human-looking thing, kind of zombioid thing, and there's actually a lot of detail in that screenshot. And when you look at the flesh on that creature and you look at the blood, it looks really good. The question I have with all of this stuff, though, is how good is it really going to look in the current headsets that we have, the current resolution that we have, the current graphics cards that we have? How bad is this game going to tax your graphics cards? Now, one of the good things about a company like Valve, they're going to try this game on a lot of different setups, and they're probably going to have some settings that you can dial in where you can get some pretty decent performance. You're going to have to turn some things down. You're going to have to turn shadows and stuff down. Is this going to be a game, though, that is going to cause a lot of people to want to buy a 2080 Ti? Is this game going to sell a lot of graphics cards? Speaking of the graphics cards thing, though, what the F is going on with NVIDIA, by the way? It's been a long time since we've had a new round of graphics cards. Where are the new round of graphics cards? Now, I know we're getting some new Radeon graphics cards at some point. Some new AMD, some Team Red graphics cards are coming out in the not too distant future, and those might put just a wee bit of pressure there. But NVIDIA, where are they? You know, because we want an even more advanced graphics card. Now, of all these different screenshots that I saw of these leaked screenshots and then the new screenshots that Valve has provided, I do have a favorite, ladies and gentlemen. That is my favorite. That is wonderful. It is beautiful. I love it. I love this one right here because you know what it really reminds me? It really reminds me of when I got the orange box for my Xbox 360. Yeah, see, when Half-Life 2, the original PC game, when that came out, when Steam first started, when everybody had a meltdown because they had to install some bullcrap software just to play Half-Life 2, when that whole thing started, I did not have a gaming PC. My gaming PC was from like 7 years earlier. Well, no, it was probably from like 6 years earlier, and it couldn't handle it. And I wasn't going to go upgrading a whole bunch of crap. I was perfectly happy Xbox 360 guy, PlayStation 3 guy. But then Orange Box came out. Orange Box came out, an incredible value, and it gave us the opportunity to try a lot of games like this. And I tried Half-Life 2, and I didn't finish it, of course. No, of course not. I'm like halfway. I got into the canal area or whatever of Half-Life 2, never completely finished it. You might see my dog in the background. He just walked into the room. Oh, no, he's left. But I do remember scenes that were very much like this, almost like aqueducts, like these like weird, and then like the drones and everything, and the evil dudes. Just such a cool vibe. So really looking forward to that. That is coming, of course, in 37 days. We're talking, of course, about Half-Life Alyx. That is my favorite screenshot of the new screenshots. There definitely is a lot of hype. I'm going to go ahead and bounce now over to chat, and let's see what chat is talking about in terms of Half-Life Alyx coming in 37 days. Okay, so going back here, and Magong has subscribed at tier 2. Yes, of course, if you do have Twitch Prime, folks, might as well. And you might be watching this on YouTube on tape delay, but you still have Twitch Prime. Of course you do. If you live in the United States, you're kind of dumb if you don't have it, because the shipping advantages and then all the video content that you get as well. I mean, everybody's cut the cord, right? So you got Amazon Prime. You might as well subscribe. Even you YouTubers that never go to Twitch, just bounce over there and subscribe real quick and then bounce right back. It'd be great. Will Flourish in the building. Will Flourish. Gaming Science Teacher is here. She's saying Carmack, interview Carmack. Dude, Carmack is working on general artificial intelligence, like Skynet for real. Carmack he's in a cabin in the woods working on freaking Skynet. I don't know that he's going to have much time for an interview. Iron McCann. Get Phil Spencer on, and we could get a good dose of Ranthony. Oh, I'd love to have Phil Spencer on. He wouldn't answer the vast majority of my questions, because most of my questions would be like, what's your deal, bro? You know, that would be most of my questions. I don't think he'd be very happy with that. VR Spry Guy says Jeremy from Tested. Oh yeah, so lots of people are saying Jeremy from Tested or Norm or Jeremy and Norm. And what everybody's talking about here in chat, by the way, is earlier before we got on to Half-Life Alyx, I was talking about how I've got a bucket list of interviews. And that's what they're commenting on in terms of which interviews should we be talking to. Who should I be talking to in terms of interviews? Okay, so Greg's VR says, the last time I cared about screenshots was before the internet, LOL. Are you kidding me, bro? No, dude, I cared about, the last time I really cared about screenshots, I'll tell you guys actually, the last time I really cared about screenshots, it was December of 1995. December of 1995, and in Japan, there was going to be a show called the Shoshikai Show or Shonakai Show. Or what. It's basically Nintendo Space World. They have this thing called Nintendo Space World. And in December of 1995, the Ultra 64, the first pictures of the Ultra 64 were going to be at Nintendo Space World. And I actually went to a store in Sacramento called Incredible Universe because they had a ton of computers there that were all connected to the internet. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have the internet. This was December of 1995. I built a computer in early 1996 and got on the internet and never got off. That was all in 1996. But December 1995, no internet. I went to this place called Incredible Universe to go on their computer onto a website to get the first pictures of Ultra 64, bro. Of course, I found out it was called Nintendo 64. And I saw all the different pictures of like Mario and Zelda. And it was like, oh, dude, that was incredible. That's the last time screenshots mattered. But I still love a good screenshot. So anyway, that is that. John Pro S1 says, that creepy screenshot? Yeah. The screenshot that is my favorite, by the way, folks, is when you're in the aqueducts. It's kind of dirty. It's kind of muddy. It's kind of gritty. But this is my favorite one because if you played Half-Life 2, you remember being in this area. And you remember doing your gravity gun and crap in the... Now, it didn't look that good. It sure as hell didn't look that good. Like, this is like a before and after shot, and this is way the hell after with much more advanced technology. So, yeah, definitely excited by that. Mepper40 in chat says, I might want a 2080 Ti, but I'm not going to get one unless I can get it for 60% off. Good luck with that. Good luck with that because you're going to have to wait for the new, whatever the new hotness is, like a 3080 Ti comes out, a 3080 Ti comes out, then all the people that are just overflowing, they've got more money than sense, they all jump on the bandwagon and they immediately sell their 2080 Ti's. It happens every time. That's how I got a 1080 Ti. The 1080 Ti I got is because somebody bumped up to the 2080 Ti and they got rid of their old busted video card that wasn't cutting the mustard anymore. But the funny thing is the 2080 Ti, the benefit that you get with that card over a 1080 Ti, disappointing. It's disappointing. You're getting a very small bump for a giant bump in money. It is not worth it. That's why I got a used 1080 Ti. And I'll probably when the transition happens, I'll probably be buying somebody's used 2080 Ti. I'm always probably going to hang back a little bit. Unless I hit the lottery or blow up or something, it's just an unlikely thing. Or if like NVIDIA was like to send me a card, that would be great. Yeah, what level do you have to get to be sent a mofo video card? What level do you have to get to? A high level? Like Nathy isn't even getting 2080 Ti's sent to him, or Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis. They're not getting 2080 Ti's sent to them. You got to get to a real high level to finally get some free video cards. Okay, let's see. Reality 2200 says, I'm waiting for the 3080 line, still rocking the 1080 card. Yeah, that's what a lot of us are doing. Ari PF something says, yesterday I finished Half-Life 1 on the Quest. It was awesome. You know what? I'm tempted to do this, folks. I have not screwed around. I need to get off of this damn screenshot here. Sorry about that. Relatively boring to leave it on that same screenshot. The mud is pretty, but it's not that pretty. Let's move off of it. But regarding side quest, I have not used side quests in a while. The last time I used side quest, I tried out T for God, and I tried out like Doom or Quake or something like that. Tried out a couple of different things. Tried out Crisis VR Gate, whatever it's called. Tried a number of things like that, right? But I haven't used SideQuest in the longest time, and there's all these like hand tracking things. There's all these little experimental things, and then there is the original Half-Life, which has been converted into VR, and I played that back in like 1998 or whatever year that was. 1999? When was that? 1997? The original Half-Life. I was a computer gaming nerd back at that time. I had an ATI card. I was mostly a GeForce, not GeForce. No, I was mostly like a Voodoo. You know, like 3DFX Voodoo cards. I had all of those, but then ATI cards took over and became the highest end card that you could get, better than the Voodoo cards. And I had one of those, I believe, when I played the original Half-Life. So yeah, I'd like to try that on the Quest. Absolutely. Yeah, Greg's VR says, yep, still rocking the 1080 Ti. Want to see if new cards push down the 20 Ti price. iPad Carry MG says, Ant, don't you think Quest should have its own Alyx level game? Absolutely, yeah. And you know, I'll tell you what, Valve is probably encouraged by the fact that Oculus Quest owners can get a cable and maybe they can go to a buddy's house that has a real banging PC or something. Maybe some of these people, because you go to the Oculus Quest subreddit, people are always talking about playing this on Link, playing that on Link, and a lot of people don't know what it's all about. They don't know what's going on. They look into it a little bit more. They realize you got to have a gaming PC. A lot of them don't have it, but now they're starting to look into it. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Could they convert a game that powerful to the Quest? I believe Valve could, but they'd have to like own the Quest. It would have to be their baby. Valve would have to have their own standalone to care that much about porting that game over to Quest. But you would, one question that you would have though, iPad Carry MG, is like, what about Facebook themselves? Where is the Quest game that they pour $50 million into? We haven't seen that yet. You know, we've seen games that they've thrown a lot of money at on the original Oculus Rift. They threw a lot of money at Robo Recall. I believe it was $10 million. We don't know how much they threw at Arctica 1. We don't know how much they threw at like the Mage's Tale and the original Lone Echo, but we know that they are spending a lot of money for a lot of that stuff. But when are they going to throw $50 million into an individual Quest game? I'm definitely curious about that. All right, so anyways, guys, I do have a really cool treat for you guys today. We are going to check out the world premiere for a brand new VR game that is going to drop tomorrow. Now, here's the thing. I don't really know very much about this game. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad. I don't know if it's going to be mediocre. But what I do know is it's coming out tomorrow. And the developer of the game has reached out to me, and I've been talking to him a little bit back and forth, and his trailer drops tomorrow. But I explained to him, I said, hey man, you know what? I do a show on Sunday and then I do a show on Thursday. If you want, I can show your trailer today and introduce your game to everybody on my show. But the downside is I'm doing it kind of like a day early. But you know what? He said, go ahead and do it. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to check out a brand new trailer for an unknown VR game that comes out tomorrow. And it's going to be on the Oculus store tomorrow for $7.99. So $8. So relatively inexpensive. It's going to be on the Oculus store tomorrow. It's going to come to Steam within a couple of days. And let's go ahead and check it out. And we can talk about it right after the trailer is over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump up the volume on this little video montage, this little trailer montage that we've got going. I'm going to full screen it, and we're going to check out the world premiere for a brand new VR game that is dropping tomorrow. So hold on one sec. All right, there it is, Fighting Clans, which will be coming out tomorrow. It'll be coming out on the Oculus Store. It is coming to Steam in the very near future, probably before the end of next week. It is $7.99. I don't really know too much about this game. So I'm going to be discovering this game along with the rest of you guys. I probably will get a chance to play this game and check it out. It is an early access version. This is one thing that the developer did tell me, is like, this game is not finished. It's not completely done, but it's in good enough condition that they're going to be able to release it. And you know, it basically, what we're looking at here is like a Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat type of game, but from the first person. We've seen a number of different boxing games in VR. We've seen, you know, what do you call it? The Thrill of the Fight, which is very popular on the Oculus Quest right now. Of course, we've seen Creed on basically every platform out there, but those are more traditional boxing games. This is more of a fighting game. Of course, we did see Path of the Warrior, which kind of rekindles like old Streets of Rage nostalgia. But this one's different. This is more of a head-to-head street baller, Fighting Clans, Exocus. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it does come out tomorrow on February 17th. It is going to be $7.99, and it will be available in the Oculus Store. So I'm looking forward to trying it out, because this is a genre that we would like to experience in VR. When you do have this kind of combat where you're going to be up close, what it's really going to depend on is how good do your connections feel when you're punching the other guy. You're going to be able to do kicks and stuff like that. And then it's going to be all about how much dodging are you able to do? How much blocking are you able to do? Is there stamina? You know, if you block a lot, do your arms get worn down? Is this just going to be more like a simplistic arcade slam bam thank you ma'am type of you know, just an Action Jackson kind of thing? Probably. You know, it's only $7.99. But anyway, yeah, that is a brand new VR game, Fighting Clans. The rest of the VR gaming world, we'll find out a little bit more about this game tomorrow, because it's going to be available tomorrow. So yeah, they're dropping, like, this trailer is going to show up tomorrow, and it's basically going to say available now, grab it now. You can go ahead and buy it now on the Oculus Store, and coming soon to Steam. So let me go ahead and just check over in chat real quick to see if anybody is talking anything about this Fighting Clans, this new fighting game that's coming out right now. And let's see here. So going back, a lot of people are talking about 1080 Ti's. And Uber Wolfie says, agree, 1080 Ti on my Valve Index and runs very smoothly at 120 hertz. So yeah, a lot of people doing pretty good with their 1080 Ti's. I still love my 1080 Ti. It does a pretty good job. You know, I've been pretty impressed with my 1080 Ti. John Pro S1 says, Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed VR 2022. Is that like a new story that actually hit? We will check last minute news before this show is over. There's been rumors about Splinter Cell VR. There's been rumors about Assassin's Creed VR. And I am incredibly hyped for Assassin's Creed. Not as much Splinter Cell. I mean, Splinter Cell could be cool. But Assassin's Creed, like going to a different time zone, and like Egypt or like the Aztecs or something. Oh man, it would be so awesome. I'd absolutely love to play an Assassin's Creed game in VR. That would be huge. Let's see. Uber Wolfie, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Been subscribed for 4 months. Currently on a 2-month streak. Uber Wolfie coming through in a major way. Greg's VR says, it looks like Kingpin from 1998. And gaming science teachers like another boxing game. And B-Cycled VR says, we don't have enough yet. Mepper40 says, who's going to accidentally punch their TV? Greg's VR says, same knockdown animation like Thrill the Fight. Same dev? No, I do believe it is a different dev. This is not Ian Fitz. I believe Ian Fitz is the developer of Thrill the Fight. Yeah, this is a different developer. These guys did a game called Snowman. Oh, dude, you know what I haven't checked today? We haven't tried the Webinator. Let's try the Webinator real quick, and I'll show you guys the game that they already have that is on VR right now. And you know, they're a small, super small VR developer, so like tiny, like probably just a couple of dudes, and they just happened to reach out to me. And I think one of them watches the show on a regular basis. He's been a fan of the show and just asked me if I wanted to possibly talk about this game. But yeah, let's go to the webinar real quick. Let's hope that my web version of this works. Let's switch over. And okay, yeah, here we are. Okay, so see this game, Snowman? It released on November 25th, 2019, and this is the developer, Exocus. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I'm just going to guess and say it's Exocus. But yeah, I tried this game out. Dude gave me a key for this game. I tried it out. It's basically just a wavy-ass wave shooter. And one of the things I had to tell the guy is you better turn off, like it has these blinders that are automatically on, and there was no options to turn it off. So he's going to be adding that very soon, or may have already added that to this game. And it's basically a wave shooter, but there's one little difference where you grab these blocks and you're like building up these walls to help you as you're attacked by waves of like alien looking enemies in the snow. It is called Snowman. It's $10. Yeah, a lot of people haven't tried that. But tomorrow they are going to drop that game, Fighting Clans. Again, I have no idea if it's going to be any good. It might be okay. It might be craptacular. It's hard to say. Okay, so what did we want to get into now? Okay, the next story that we have to get into, and this is a Debbie Downer of a story, I gotta say, folks, because I was actually looking forward to this VR headset. I was looking forward to the arrival of the Acer Concept D Oho Snow Trooper Edition. I think it's a cool looking headset, and basically what it is, it's pretty much an HP Reverb, but it has legit IPD. So it was basically an HP Reverb, but with legit IPD, although manufactured under the Acer brand. And I think they actually gave the headset a pretty cool looking design. You know, it has a cool looking look to it, the white and black. It's got the headphones and everything, got the halo design. Windows Mixed Reality. You can see the little Windows Mixed Reality symbol there on the side. And so what we found out is Road to VR, they reached out to Acer and they said, hey, you know, this headset was announced a long time ago, this Acer Concept D Oho. What happened to it? Where is it? Where is the Snow Trooper headset? And Acer responded and said, you know what? That particular headset, canceled, bro. Canceled. Yeah, we decided we're not going to go ahead and roll with that one. And it's definitely a disappointing bit of news, but there is good news because some people were worried, oh my God, does this signal, is this the end of Windows Mixed Reality? Does Microsoft care about Windows Mixed Reality? Is there going to be a Windows Mixed Reality 2.0? There's lots of questions, and when this thing gets canceled, you wonder, is the whole entire program, you know, what's going on here? Because a lot of the original Windows Mixed Reality headsets, they're discontinued. Now, the thing is, we were going to have Mobile World Congress, which was coming a little bit later this month. Microsoft normally shows up at Mobile World Congress. A lot of times they're talking about HoloLens 2 type stuff, or a lot of times they're kind of HoloLens focused, but they might have had something to say about Windows Mixed Reality. Remember the Samsung Bug-O-Vision, right? There could be a Windows Mixed Reality 2.0 that is brewing in the background. And that could be the bright side of this story right here. Maybe this was kind of like Windows Mixed Reality 1.5, and maybe Acer at the last minute said, well, you know, Windows 2.0 is now going to be available. We might as well just cancel this one and just switch to Windows Mixed Reality 2.0. I'm not sure. There's lots of questions, but you know what we do when we've got a lot of questions? We go to the Webinator. We consult the Webinator and see if the Webinator can solve our problems. And this is Road to VR, and Acer has responded like basically Road to VR is like, dude, are you guys out of this? Are you giving up on VR altogether? Is this the end of VR as we know it? And Acer says, no, man, we're continuing to explore. So let's see here. I got a quote. It says, Acer continues to explore opportunities and invest resources in XR related technologies, a spokesperson told Road to VR. Okay, so XR, like, is this XR thing for real? Like, we're really going to go down this XR road? So MRTV, dude, you blew it. You should have been called XRTV. You're going to be quickly forgotten, MRTV, because we're moving to XR. Even Acer is using XR. But yeah, Acer continues to invest and explore opportunities. Basically, what they're telling us with this quote is they're saying, look, it isn't completely over with, so we're still going to have some VR stuff. Don't worry about it. The Acer spokesperson also told Road to VR that they will continue to support the sales and service of the Acer OHO 500, which did finally launch. I don't know if it's available in the USA at all, though. It's been available in a lot of like weird countries. But they have, yeah, weird countries, not the USA, like a solid known quantity of a country, weirdo countries. But the Acer OHO 500, it is out there, but it doesn't have the resolution that we were wanting. So not quite what we were looking for. But yeah, Acer continues to work on that. So we're just going to have to wait and see. You know, I'm still encouraged by the idea that, dude, Microsoft can't give up on VR. That would just be stupid. But Microsoft is weird. They're weird about VR. Like, I don't know what exactly they're doing over there. It's kind of like they hate VR. They don't really want to deal with VR. But at the same time, they know that VR is probably not going away and they're probably going to have to deal with it, but they don't really want to enthusiastically get behind it. You know, this is what I talked with Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis. I think we talked about this really briefly because, or was it a different interview? Now I'm getting interviews mixed up, but I know in some interview I mentioned, yeah, I think it was with Mike, that Microsoft, yeah, we were talking about Microsoft. We were talking about Phil Spencer, and I was like, Microsoft never really got behind Windows Mixed Reality because they never provided any like exclusive content that would get people jazzed up. There wasn't like a real Halo thing or a real Forza thing or a real Gears of War thing. And it didn't have to be a huge, gigantic thing. It could have been a relatively small game. But they didn't even do that. I mean, you got Halo Recruit, but nobody gave a damn about that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check over here in chat, see if folks are talking about this. John Pro S1 says they are still selling an OHO headset, according to Road to VR, but only to business. Yeah, that's the original Acer OHO 500, which did not have 2160 by 2160 per eye. That was the big deal here. Do you guys remember when the HP Reverb came out? When the HP Reverb first launched, there was a lot of people that really got into the whole HP Reverb thing, and it was because of 2160 by 2160. This was like the highest res screen you're going to get in a consumer VR headset, and that's what Reverb was all about. And then this was basically going to be Reverb 2, but with legit IPD adjustment. And you know, one thought that I have with this, guys, one of the reasons I think this might have been canceled, the Reverb screens are 2.45 inches each. They're basically these little squares that are 2.45 inches, 2160 by 2160 resolution on each of them, but they're small squares. And one of the problems that some people had that got the Reverb is they would be inside the Reverb and they could literally see the edges of the effing screen. Talk about an immersion breaker. So that might have just been like That might have been like an unforeseen manufacturing snafu, basically, where it wasn't until they already made thousands of them that they realized, oh shit, if you're really paying attention, you can, out of your peripheral vision, you can see the edge of the effing screen. That's not what we want, folks. We want to be immersed. We don't want to see an artificial edge of a screen. Talk about a buzzkill. Now, it's possible that Acer saw these problems. There was also these weird flickering problems. There might have been some other problems as well. That could have been part of the reason they canceled it. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. John Pro S1 says, pretty sure Windows will just cancel Windows Mixed Reality by the end of the year. Mepper40 says they need to put that head on a turntable like HTC. Reality 2200 says XR extended reality. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about extended reality. Thanos 2001 just subscribed on Twitch Prime, has been subscribed for 4 months and is banging very hard on a 2-month streak. And DL Gilbert 1 also subscribe with Twitch Prime, but doing much better. He subscribed for 7 months and is now on a 6-month banger of a streak. So yeah, we do have some folks helping us out with that Twitch Prime cheddar. Gotta love it. Okay, Greg Zvier says, Microsoft can easily wait until they're ready. And Skiva007 just showed up in the chat. And Skiva007 says it could also have been canceled because no one wants Windows mixed reality tracking. Yeah, see, that was one of the bad aspects of this Acer Oho. Same crappy controller, same crappy tracking. The only improvement is an incredibly higher resolution screen that, unfortunately, if you're really paying attention, you can see the edges of. I mean, I'm assuming you could in this one as well. I'm assuming it's the same exact panels were being used in this one as well. Do you remember back when the Reverb got announced? I wondered out loud, are we entering the 2160 by 2160 era of headsets? I thought this was the next standard. I thought we got to a new level, 2160 by 2160. Now I'm raising my sights even higher. Quest Killer, baby. Quest Killer. 2880 by 2880. Talk about advancing the ball down the field. Now the question is, Quest Killer, are we talking about 2.45 inch squares? Because we might see the edges of the screen. That could be problematic. But yeah, that's the Acer Oho. The Acer Oho, the Acer No-Ho. You're not getting it. It is not happening. Unfortunately, there is no Oho for us, bro. And that was the Snow Trooper edition, and I was pretty hyped about the Snow Trooper edition. Okay, so the next story that I wanted to get into, every once in a while on this program, I will get into a game that I've been playing, something that I've been messing around with recently. And you know what I've been messing around with, folks? Face Your Fears 2 on the Oculus Quest. But before I talk about that, how did I get started playing Face Your Fears 2 on the Oculus Quest? Great question. Great question. And the way I got started is I was playing The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, but you know what? I've hit an inflection point. Okay, no, that's not the right word, but it sounds good. Don't you like that? Inflection point. Sounds really awesome. No, but what happened is I got to a point in The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners where I'm kind of stuck, man, and it's kind of frustrating, and I'm dying a lot, and I'm not making any progress, and every time I go into Saints and Sinners, I'm not moving the ball down the field. In fact, I'm fumbling the ball, and they're taking it the other way for a touchdown. I'm just not doing very good in The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. So what I decided to do is I decided to just say, get the F out of Dodge. I'm not playing you right now. I will see you later, bro. That's pretty much what I've done with The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. And I know some people might be disappointed by that because they're like, dude, you got to push through. You got to fight through the difficult times. I mean, this is what MainFan does. That's MainFan right there. He is the finisher. He completes shit. He doesn't give up on shit. When the going gets tough, MainFan knuckles up. You know, he just gets more and more into it. He bangs harder and harder onto it. When the going gets tough, I bounce. I bounce, bro, because I got so many other games on my backlog list, and Face Your Fears 2 is one of them. And for some reason, I saw Face Your Fears 2 on like VR game rankings or something. We don't have a review for it there. That kind of inspired me. And I thought, you know what? There's some Quest games I need to check out. Popped on Face Your Fears 2. I tried this back when it had first come out. And I got to the area where the spiders were, saw a couple of spiders, noped the hell out of it real quick, and then I never went back into Face Your Fears. Now, I've kind of forgotten about it a little bit. And I thought, you know what? Let me give this game another chance because it's like a real deal adventure game. That's the cool thing that Turtle Rock Studios did. I keep wanting to call them Turtle Beach, but those were like audio guys, like right back in the old, remember Turtle Beach Audio or something like that? Or Turtle Beach something, right? There used to be a Turtle Beach, no, but I believe Turtle Rock Studios, right? I believe, right? So they did a damn good job here, though, because they made like a real deal adventure. You're going through this game. It's a story kind of a thing. The original Face Your Fears was like a bunch of little mini games that were really cool, and a lot of people loved them. And a lot of people, when they got this, some of them disappointed that it was like these two longer stories rather than a whole bunch of different mini games. But that's basically what they did here. And I revisited it, got back in it, and I've had a great time with it. And as I'm playing through the whole game, you know, I love the Oculus Quest. I really do. I've been playing other Oculus Quest games as well very recently. I've been playing a little bit of Vacation Simulator on the Quest and also The Climb, and just been dazzled by how good the Quest is. Now, the graphics are watered down. I am a graphics whore at heart. I truly am. I really am a graphics whore. I love graphics, but I'm still amazed at how well the Oculus Quest can handle an experience like this, and you can forget about how watered down the graphics are. You forget about it really quickly, especially a horror game where things happen in this game. There's jump scares that are executed very well. Unfortunately, I did not record my gameplay sessions with this game. I should have, because you would have saw a grown man like shouting and screaming and jumping and throwing helmets off. I got to the spider section of this game, guys, and the spider section of the game, holy moly, riccatoli. It is no joke, especially for somebody like me that has a legitimate aversion to spiders. But not only that, the Black Widow variety. It's the Black Widows, man. And these were relatively realistic looking Black Widows. And you had to deal with them. And I was like, fuck, you know, I was just dealing with it, but I just powered through, man. It took some serious courage. It took some stones, you know. I had to nut up and just deal with it, and I dealt with it. But that's Face Your Fears 2. So I basically completely finished the spider story, whatever that story was, and now I'm working on the Poltergeist one. And I'm actually pretty far into the Poltergeist one. And at first I was going to say I love everything about this game and it's very underrated, and why aren't more people talking about it as one of the cool games of 2019? But I will tell you this, when you play the Poltergeist story of this, you get to these platforming sections at a certain point where you're like climbing and you're like walking on these little ledges and you can fall off and die. And MameFan in this video, it's one of the things that MameFan talked a lot about. By the way, thanks MameFan, I'm using the shit out of your video here for this little discussion, but you got some good gameplay footage and it all looks great, so I decided to use your video. But one of the things that MameFan also agreed on is the platforming towards the end of that Poltergeist mission can get a bit tedious. It really can. And so that was kind of one of the... So it's not all good. It's not all wonderful, but it's mostly very good. And it's mostly very powerful. And it mostly does a damn good job and it's an adventure that you go on, and it's wireless, and if you've got a relatively big play space, you can kind of move around a little bit and you get immersed into it. I really enjoyed my time with Face Your Fears 2. Absolutely. All right. Well, one thing that we need to do on this program, and I don't want to do it at the very beginning of the program, but I'll do it a little bit later, and that is to thank our various sponsors. And you know what? We've got 4 brand new Patreon supporters this week. Carrie Gronvelt has joined the Patreon. I absolutely appreciate it, Carrie. Thank you so much. Now, Carrie Gronvelt, that name may ring a bell. You might remember his curly locks, in some different comments after some of the episodes of this show. A longtime viewer, I believe, of VR365. Glad to have you on the Patreon. Thank you so much, Carrie. All right, let's go ahead and get to another Patreon supporter that has joined the program. And that, of course, is Sergio Landiera Garcia. Now, that name probably rings a bell because Sergio was on the Patreon before, bounced off, came back, bounced off, came back, which is great. I have no problems with that. You can bounce back and forth on the Patreon as much as you want. It is all gravy as far as I'm concerned. Thank you so much, Sergio Landera Garcia, jumping back on. And speaking of jumping back onto the Patreon is Studio Form VR. Now, this guy, I believe, is in New Zealand, I think. I believe he's in New Zealand. And Studio Form VR, the company where they make the different paddings and stuff that you can get for your Oculus Quest and different headsets and stuff like that. And it does relieve some of the problems of the Oculus Quest. This guy has sent me a lot of stuff, been way too kind. But anyway, back on the Patreon, I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much, Studio Form VR. I think he's a legit viewer of the program and actually really likes this show. I don't think it's just a marketing stunt because he's definitely sent way too much stuff to me for that. Okay, another brand new Patreon supporter for the show is Simonoff888. And this guy, I believe, is brand spanking new, has never been on the Patreon before. So definitely glad to have you, Simonoff888. Welcome aboard the Patreon. Awesome. So 4 new Patreon guys. And it's kind of an influx because you know what? It was almost the end of VR365. So a lot of people kind of bounced out. We had a lot of people that bounced out because they thought it was over with and they didn't want to, they didn't want to accidentally be charged the following month or something like that. It could have been over. Little did we know, like 5 days later, I was monetized. How crazy was that? But also got a couple of PayPal donations. Iron McCann, which I believe is in chat. I don't know if he's in chat right now at this very moment, but I believe was in chat a little bit earlier. Iron McCann with a $10 PayPal donation. Thank you so much, Iron McCann. I really appreciate that. And then one other PayPal donation was Jerry Opdyke. Jerry Opdyke with a $20 banger of a donation. Really appreciate it. So the support has been incredible, guys. I truly, truly appreciate all the support. Like all of the super chat people that like came out of the woodwork with super chats, the support on Patreon, the support on PayPal. It really has been incredible. I super appreciate it because this show has been nothing if not a lot of drama. And it's not manufactured drama, but I could see somebody almost believing it would be manufactured drama because it's almost drama on a stick. It's pretty drama heavy. Okay, so what else did we want to get into? We're almost done with today's show. We're almost done, folks. But you know what? I have one more major topic I wanted to get into. And this is actually a topic that I was going to cover with Mike. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. But I was going to ask Mike about this because we both went to Oculus Connect 6. And when we were there at Oculus Connect 6, we were in the crowd when they did the keynote speech of the whole thing. When Zuckerberg was there and got on stage and was talking about all of this various stuff. We were there and we saw it live. And one of the things that Zuckerberg talked about, he talked about hand tracking. and he talked about eventually not needing controllers. And you know what? I got a little bit nervous, folks. I got a little bit nervous when I heard this. Now, what I did was I grabbed a clip, and it lasts for about 1 minute. It's basically 1 minute of Zuck talking about hand tracking. And I wanted to pose the question to everybody. Controllers, are they an endangered species? Are we going to be using some kind of controllers that have, like, whether it's gloves, whether it's little fingertip things, are we going to have something physical? Or are we going to go to the world of no controllers? It's a concern, ladies and gentlemen. If it's not a concern for you right now, it should be. It should be a concern. But let's go ahead. I'm going to full screen this little montage video here, and we're going to check out 1 minute of Zuck talking about hand tracking. And then we're going to come back and talk about this for a quick second, because I think this is something that is looming as we get more and more hand tracking. Not really a factor right now. Not a factor right now, but could be a major factor with Quest 2 and future generations of VR hardware. Is the controller going the way of the dodo bird? Okay, so hold on real quick. Let's check this out.
Because in the future, you're going to be able to interact with digital objects with your hands, or just as naturally as you can with physical objects in the world. It immediately opened up this bigger question, which is, okay, how can we do even better? How can we make it so that instead of having to use hand controllers, we can just use our hands? So this means no controllers, no buttons, no straps, no external sensors, just full range of motion in your hands. And
all right, yeah, so that is it. That was Zuck, and he was talking, and he got into it at a certain point. It was like no buttons, no straps, and it almost seemed like he really started to get excited about all of this. And I didn't get the quote. It might have been later in the conference, or it might have been at a different time, but I believe there was another quote at one point where it made it sounded to me, at the time when I was there, it sounded to me like Facebook has a goal, and like their goal is to like ditch the controller at a certain point. And is anybody else scared to death of this? Because like I like hand tracking as much as the next guy, and I want hand tracking to be a major thing, and hand tracking needs to be a major thing. In fact, one of the things that I said, this was like a year ago or so, I was talking about every headset that ships in the year 2019. I think I said this back in 2018. Every headset that ships in the year 2019, you should be able to put the headset on, and if your controllers are in another room, if your controllers are dead, if your controllers are way over there, it shouldn't matter. Bam! You should immediately have access to your hands. Like, this is a standard thing that I believe should happen for every VR headset going forward. Two things. The second you put on the VR headset, I think you should see a full color AR pass-through of your room. Full color, crystal clear, the best possible cameras we can get. Immediately you put the headset on, and it's like you didn't put the headset on. You're seeing your room, you're seeing everything. You're seeing a cup, you're seeing your banana, you're seeing everything there. You're seeing your dog and your cat, and then you got the headset on, but now you're not discombobulated because it's not all black, or you're not waiting for something to load up. You see your real world. Then you can select, yeah, now I want to activate this and go into VR. And it might still have your real world here, and then kind of have like a menu here, and you can choose how much you want to fade in and out of it. But I think we need to get into a smoother operation with VR headsets going forward. And hand tracking is a gargantuan part of that. You should immediately be able to see your hands. And if I'm letting somebody try out a headset, I shouldn't have to give them a controller with a whole bunch of buttons and everything like that. If I'm doing a demo, say it's Thanksgiving or it's some kind of family occasion where I happen to bring a Quest, I'm giving a bunch of people demos, you would like to be able to just give them a demo and not have to give them controllers, and but have some little thing they can do where they're tapping on things, they're interacting with things. So I don't hate hand tracking. I'm a fan of hand tracking. My question though is, are we going to go down the road that Microsoft almost went down with Kinect? Do you guys remember when Microsoft got Kinect crazy? When they first came out with Kinect, and when Kinect started selling really well? Because when Microsoft first came out with Kinect, it was like right before like a Christmas season, and it became the hottest effing thing. It just really blew up that particular Christmas in the United States, selling out everywhere. They sold like 10 million Kinects or whatever, and Microsoft got drunk with power with this idea that the Kinect was a friggin' game changer. And like, there were different conferences and stuff where some of the Microsoft executives were like, yeah, we finally ditched the controller, guys. We don't need now we don't need this like interface, now we are the controller, man. So there was that whole thing that kind of happened, with the Kinect. And I almost saw shades of that with Zuck when he was up on stage talking about hand tracking. And so we're getting a lot of hand tracking stuff that is coming in. But do you have a concern, ladies and gentlemen? And not really a concern in the PC world. PC VR, I think, is always going to be fine. I'm a little bit worried about Quest 2, Quest 3. I'm a little bit worried about this idea that sometimes companies fall in love with an idea of a headset shipping in a box. There's no controllers, and they're not offering any controllers. Yeah, they know that there might be some deeper experiences you can have with controllers, but they feel for the sake of VR and for the sake of their open blue, their wide, whatever the Nintendo, wide blue strategy, or, trying to sell to everybody, controllers are intimidating. We don't even want to bring it up. We don't even want people to know about controllers because they're so intimidating. So guess what? No effing controllers. It's just your hands, and you're going to naturally do everything. What do you think about that, folks? That's basically the question of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are probably, and I will be checking chat here in just a second. Just a second, I will absolutely check chat. But this is our question of the day. Do you fear a controllerless future in VR? 10 years from now, will we still have physical controllers? Now, if you say, well, 10 years from now, we're actually going to put little things on all of our little individual digits. So each little digit is going to have a little thing that basically goes to where your knuckle is. And it's going to have sensors in it, and it's going to track. And so you're going to be grabbing things. And so you're going to get a little bit of a zinger and a little bit of a zanger. You're going to get some interaction. Some people might say, yeah, or we're going to go to gloves. But dude, I'm telling you, some of these executives fall in love with the idea of nothing. They fall in love with that idea. And a glove is something. And a little thumbnail, a thing that you just pop on your finger, that's something. And there's friction there. You got 10 little things that you're putting on your fingertips. What happens when you lose one of these bad boys? You've got gloves. How durable are these gloves going to be? They might go the glove route. We've seen the picture of Zuckerberg doing like some Spider-Man type shit with some gloves and some really nice tracking devices all around him. We've seen that picture before. So maybe they'll go the glove route. I don't know. Maybe I'm out on an island here with my worry about a controllerless future. All right, guys, that'll do it. So I will maybe see you guys in Altspace in a little bit. But for the rest of you folks, see ya on YouTube next Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific. See you guys then. All right, we'll see you guys then. Take it easy. Later.